I like things that are recorded, and then I like trying to figure out ways to go beyond what's there. I was drawn to the field of photography because I took a basic black and white course, and everything changed. I fell in love with the magic of the darkroom. In that darkroom, I always felt like there was room to push it further, like what else is possible with the medium. So then that kind of catapulted me into this whole universe of photography. With photography as kind of a base, I usually try to figure out ways to push it further, like where else can it go? I had an uncle who was a painter and my grandmother was a painter. So there were paintings in our house growing up. One in particular was from the 19th century, and my parents always said it was a Hudson River School painting. The veracity of that claim has been disputed, but it was something that was always in the background of our house. One of the reasons why I always start with landscape is connected to that landscape painting that was in my parents' house. I was not a painter, but I wanted painterly effects in my photographs. So at first, it was almost a disruption into the surface of the image, but then I started thinking about trying to put the photograph into the context of painting. If you're familiar with art and the history of art, there are things that kind of check the boxes. We recognize it immediately as landscape, but people aren't quite sure what it is because it's a combination of mediums, and that's kind of the post-sublime part of it. I was drawn to the southern coastal landscapes. Someone I used to know who was also a photo mixed media artist, whose name was Todd Murphy, would constantly say to me, it's primitive, it's a jungle, you need to go photograph it. There's lots of architecture in those spaces because live oaks have these intense, beautiful branches. And the interplay of those with brackish water also creates a lot of abstraction. That led me to places like Port Royal and Palmetto Bluff, but it eventually took me down to Louisiana and areas that are being lost to climate change. So that was another reason to get down there and portray these images in kind of this grand landscape to hopefully call more attention to what's going on. If you've grown up in the country or if you have had access to spaces like this, you're usually bringing in a lot of your own reference. It's a nostalgic feel. That's how I feel like the work is also completed, by someone bringing their own reference or telling me a story. That for me is like winning an award, because now it's been a trigger for experience.